Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How are you today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's whatever it is. It's April 14th. 15th, 19. No, it's not. It's 2000.
Oh, my God. Get it together, man.
April 15th, 2000. Happy Tax Day, everyone. It's the spookiest time of the year.
I hate Tax Day.
Yeah, we're back.
It makes me sad.
We're back.
We are?
Do you like the low energy opening? I did a high energy opening, which she ruined.
He was like screaming, and I felt bad for anybody listening with headphones on. Because that hurts. I've done it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you excited? Are you excited that we're back? It's been quite a break.
It has?
Since we did this show, yes.
I know what you mean. I mean, we do stuff every...
The fuck?
We do stuff every week. What are you talking about?
You know, this show has no special place in your heart at all, does it? You just don't fucking care at all.
But, I mean, like, they're all the show to me. I don't differentiate. Do you all differentiate between? Well,
some people
we talk about movies.
Some people listen to some shows and not other shows that we do. So yeah, I would say they do.
Oh, well. It has been no time at all for me.
For all of you that, apparently she just lives in a fucking continuum of time where all time is happening at once. It's been no time for her at all. But for the rest of us, for those of you that maybe missed our show, welcome back. It's been a good time.
Welcome back.
And if you don't
if
you don't listen to the other shows,
we love you.
You should try to listen to the other shows.
You're the best.
Yeah, it's too late.
Whatever.
It's too late now. They know you don't give a fuck about them anymore.
I have a sore in my mouth. Mm-hmm. I just need to share that. And I put Anbesol on it.
Yeah, excuse
and
number
so
one.
My mouth got all numb. And so I might sound a little weird.
Now, I will say this. We have been away for a long time. I feel like maybe we were spoiled last year with the movies of last year because they were just like a fantastic movie came out every week, it seemed like.
Yeah. Most of the weeks. Some weeks were not as good as others, I gotta say, but yeah.
I'm sure you guys know, but because you've been watching movies and everything, but we'll point it out, we haven't missed a lot.
No.
We haven't done a show since December of 1999, and we haven't missed a lot. We watched Scream 3. Very good. Good movie. Mm-hmm. Excellent, I think, end to the Scream trilogy.
Yeah.
Cotton Weary's dead. And spoilers, I guess, for Scream 3.
Right, yeah, in case you haven't seen it.
The killer was Sidney's long-lost brother, I guess. Played by Dawson Creek's own, whatever the hell his name was. He was, I can't think of the actor's name, but he's Scott Foley. That's his name. He played like a jock or something like that, like a football player in like season 1.
I remember.
So we watched that. We saw Aaron Brockovich. We saw The Whole 9 Yards. You know Aaron Brockovich, Julia Roberts, being a lawyer. We saw The Whole 9 Yards. You mentioned, it might have been a blooper or an outtake, but you mentioned The Whole 9 Yards in a different show that we did. Yeah, you got confused as you're like the Bruce Willis fucking Matthew Perry movie. It's like, no, that's The Whole 9 Yards. So we saw that. And that's pretty much, honestly, end of list until this movie that we're going to talk about, End of Destination or whatever it's called. Final Resting Place.
So what did you think?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I really liked it. I mean...
We're horror fans, and this is a smarter horror film than usual.
It had, Kerr Smith from Dawson's Creek, so how could it be bad?
It did. Even though you said to me when I mentioned that he was in it. Who is Kerr Smith?
Well, now I know his name.
It's Jack from Dawson's Creek. He's in it.
Yeah.
Stifler from American Pie's in it.
Yeah.
Now and Then's own Devon Sawa's in it.
Which
Little
one's that?
Giant's own Devon Sawa's in it. Idle Hands, Devon Sawa is in it.
Who is Devon Sawa, Mark?
Alex, the main character.
Okay.
Yeah. He was Junior Floyd in Little Giants. Remember we did that movie way back when? He was the one that the
Kinda.
icebox had a crush on or whatever.
Yeah, vaguely.
Throwing toilet paper in the in the grocery store, and Rick Moranis is like, "That's my quarterback."
Kind of. I kind of remember
He
that.
was in
It
the
was a
mo-
long time ago.
He was in the movie Idle Hands. He was Mr. Idle Hand.
I do remember Idle Hands. When you said Idle Hands, you know where my mind went for some stupid reason? The hand that rocks the cradle.
Oh, Rebecca De Mornay. Of course.
Right.
It's a good movie.
It is.
That was a little bit before we started our show, but Final Destination, Carol. I will say the beginning scene with the plane. Everyone who hates flying's worst nightmare. Blowing up on a plane. I don't want to say it's in bad taste, and I don't necessarily think it's in bad taste, but this is obviously, I think it's more that TWA Flight 800 inspired the writers of this movie.
Oh, really?
Probably. So I'm not sure if you guys might not be aware of it, but about 4 years ago, TWA Flight 800 was a plane that was leaving from New York to Paris with 16 students on board
Are you kidding me?
that were from like a French club or something like that, and 5 chaperones. There were like 230 people on board or something like that in total. It exploded over the Atlantic, crashed into the Atlantic. The reason for the explosion was a short circuit that ignited the jet fuel around the engine and made the engine explode, which I'm pretty sure is the exact explanation they give in this movie.
I think so, yeah.
So, obviously it's... I'm not going to... I don't want to, like, make this entire show about that. So we'll move on probably fairly quickly from it. But I do see how some people could think it's maybe slightly in poor taste.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, or I would have thought that too.
But I think it's more that I can totally see the writer of this movie, or one of the... so James Wan and somebody else whose name I can't remember. James Wan directed this movie and co-wrote it with somebody else that he worked with on the X-Files. They're both from the X-Files. I could totally see them seeing the tragic, news report or whatever, and somebody asking a question, hey, what would happen if like somebody got like a vision and they got off the plane, or whatever, and then like the idea snowballs from there.
Yeah.
But, for those of you who may not be aware, I mean, I assume you've seen the movie. This is going to be a spoiler-filled conversation.
Yeah, if not, pause this and go to the movie
You
theater
should,
and then
yeah.
come back.
Yeah, you absolutely should see the movie because it's a very good movie.
It is, and it's shocking. That's one of the things. I mean, it keeps you really on the edge of your seat and delivers shocks the whole time.
For sure. To me, this movie is 2 parts. It's surprisingly cerebral to me. There's a lot of heady conversation in the movie. And then there is the like you said, shocking, like fantastical murder elements of the movie. Because it is like a slasher kind of movie, I guess, like a supernatural type slasher movie. But it has another layer to it that I like a lot.
Okay, so who's the slasher in this movie?
Death.
So you think Death is the invisible character in the movie?
Candyman's own fucking Tony Todd. I think they heavily imply that Tony Todd is Death in this movie, to me.
They do? Explain.
Okay. So
What?
I was just going to say that the premise of the movie is that for whatever reason, they never explain it, which is fine. Devon Sawa's Alex character has a psychic vision of the plane blowing up, and he gets off the plane along with several of his classmates, all the best looking ones.
Right, all the most experienced actors on the plane.
And the plane explodes exactly the way they thought it was going to, or that he thought that he
envisioned.
Saw it. Yeah. And then months later, Death, I guess, is just like kind of biding his time. Months later, Death is like, yeah, I got to kill all these people because they were all supposed to die.
So let's talk about this, though, before we move on to the rest of the movie.
Sure.
What do you think about this whole vision thing? Like, at first I kind of thought maybe it was a dream, but he was soaked in sweat. And, like, what was going on with him while this was happening? It's so bizarre. Like, nobody noticed him just, like, sweating and freaking out and whatever in his seat. You know what I mean? Like,
you mean just, like, if the camera like saw him while he was just sitting there motionless, he just like eyes bugged out.
right?
Like,
Was he having like a seizure? Like, what's going on here?
I assume that he was. I don't know. I guess like I was gonna say. I assume he was dreaming, that he was like that it was a dream, that his eyes were closed and whatever. He was just laying there. Although, like, that's pretty weird too. I know it was a later flight, but like, get on the plane and just immediately fall asleep, especially when you're afraid of flying.
Yeah, maybe he drugged himself. That would have made sense.
But instead, and they foreshadow it hard too. Everything is foreshadowing that they're going to die very hard.
Let me ask you a question. Would you have gotten off the plane if somebody started screaming that the plane was going to explode?
100%, yes.
I would have been like, fucking moron. What is a crazy person? And I would stay.
Well, you'd be dead.
I would.
But I guess everyone else would be dead too, so it doesn't matter.
I want to tell my Mexico story really quick here.
Sure.
So, when I was going to Mexico with my social work class, we had a layover in Houston.
Guadalajara. Oh, okay.
And, well, they delayed our flight by 3 hours because they were fixing something on the plane. Mm-hmm. They weren't getting us a new plane. They weren't replacing anything. They were fixing something on the plane.
Yeah.
And we were all a little scared about that. But we all really wanted to go to Mexico. So we still got on the much smaller, less safe-looking plane. Mm-hmm. And they just gave us free alcohol for the whole plane ride to make up for it. So we were just drunk when we got to Mexico. But we did make it. There's no way you would have gotten on that plane, is there?
No. I don't like to fly as it is. In the most ideal circumstances. I have flown on a plane before. I don't like it. I didn't like it before I got on. I didn't like it when I was on it. I didn't like it when I got off. When I had to go for the return trip, I didn't want to go.
I'm a weirdo. I actually enjoy flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like looking out the window. I like the feeling you get in your stomach. Like, I don't know. I like the whole thing. It's kind of like a roller coaster. Yeah. But not.
Would you have liked this flight?
No.
Think they'll ever show this movie on a plane?
Hell no. Oh my goodness.
So, months pass after this incident, and then they have like a memorial, and everyone's like fucking freaked out at this guy because he saved their lives.
Yeah, they're assholes. One of the teachers is like,
the teacher is definitely an asshole.
They're like, don't talk to me, you scare me, or something.
Yeah. Well, she has survivor's guilt.
Me. Yeah.
Because she got off the plane with the other chaperone because he causes a ruckus and gets thrown off the plane. And she gets off the plane with the other chaperone, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to fucking let him fly. You guys can take the next flight or whatever. And they're like, okay. And she's like, well, one of us has to be on there with him, with the other students, because all these students are going to be in Paris or in pieces in the Atlantic Ocean. And one of us needs to be there. And so the male guy is like, the male chaperone's like, no, you can go ahead. And she's like, no, you know French better than I do. You go. So he goes. So because she told him to get on the plane and then he died, she has like this terrible survivor's guilt.
It would be pretty awful. I mean, that'd be something to have to live with. You don't have to live with it very long, but you know.
But I think the part that you are going to want to talk about more are the deaths and the creativity of it. It's like Rube Goldberg designed this movie. But I will mention what I think is the other interesting part of this movie is the existential conversations. So obviously there's lots of movies where teenagers start out alive and then end up dead.
Sure.
Like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, those kind of movies. That's why this reminds me mostly, even though there's a heavy supernatural element, this reminds me mostly of like a slasher movie like that because it's concerning, kids. And at the beginning of the movie, all these kids have that immortal feeling to them, like where it's we're never gonna die, kind of thing, like a lot of teenagers feel like, right? Mm-hmm. And then as the movie continues, and they have more and more conversations after more and more people get killed, you can feel like the dread and they all do a very good job acting in this movie. You can feel like they are like the weight of like their impending doom. Like that's what I feel mostly from them as it goes on, and all their conversations after the first couple people die. So like we can get to that real quick. But all their conversations after the first couple people die are centered around, they use the word fate a lot, but that's obviously a stand-in for God. They're talking about God and death, like an instrument of God. But yeah, so what he figures out, what Devon Sawa's character figures out, is they're all dying in the order they would have died in on the plane. It
takes him a while to figure that shit out, but yes.
Well, yeah, because and here's the thing, too. He's having visions. This is what one minor complaint I have about this movie is that it seems somewhat confused. It's a really great premise. Death, these people are all marked for death. Everyone's got their own time to die. It's going to happen at some point. And everyone's, I guess the point of view this movie is making is that everyone's time is predetermined, no matter what else happens in their life. So he has a vision of this happening. He prevents the death, but then they all need to die. So death needs to get him. And I guess Death's kind of mad that he wasn't able to just kill him the first way. So,
right.
So he takes some pains to make it brutaler.
Don't piss off Death, people.
But there also is signs. In addition to his visions, there are signs all around of what's going to happen. Because, like I said, at the beginning of the movie, there's all these foreshadowing stuff where it's flights being canceled and stuff like that. Terminated. It says terminated, terminated. Final destination is on the tag of
the luggage.
Yeah. And so when Todd, who is the first one that dies, his buddy Todd, whose parents won't let him talk to Alex anymore because he had a vision and save their lives, it's fucking weird.
It is. It's very fucked up. It's like they blame him because he saw it happen before it happened, but it's still not his fault.
Exactly. So anyway, after he, right before, Alex knows he's going to die because he's at a computer. He's obsessed about this plane. He's obsessed about what he saw. He's trying to figure all this stuff out. And the fan that's on in his room, one of his magazines, he's got a Playboy magazine or something like that. And it gets sucked up in the fan and gets cut up. And Todd, appears out of it, that piece got cut off in that way. And it's he sees that and he realizes this is a sign. From who, I don't know. if death wants them to die, why are they, obviously it's not death giving the signs.
It's God. Maybe.
I guess, but like if God wants them to live, death's more powerful than God?
Well,
it's
no.
weird.
I don't know.
So that's the thing that, like, that's one of the things, my major complaint about the movie is that kind of stuff gets confusing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know what they're trying to say. Who's trying to help him? And is it like the devil trying to help him? Like, ooh, escape death, because like, it fucks up God's plan or something? I don't know.
Interesting.
They never really get into it, and it's weird. But, the first one that dies is Todd. In a, like, it is overtly supernatural, all the stuff that happens. Like, you would think there are a million ways. They could have written it where it's just an accident.
Yeah.
But they obviously want a supernatural element to this movie.
It was weird, though, like, watching it, not knowing exactly what's going to happen, just the tension that is building. Watching him just getting, I don't remember if it was in or out of the shower.
I think he was getting out of the shower and, like, brushing his teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah. But you knew something was going to happen.
It was a really well-written scene with a lot of good tension. Water leaks from underneath the toilet and then, like, starts to go for him, and he walks off in a different direction, so then the water, like, turns and follows him.
It was fucked up.
Really weird.
Like, it could have all been... It could have, like you said, it could have all been just a coincidence or an accident, but then they make sure it's not. Yeah,
I think that they wrote it in that way, I think, to explicitly say this is not just an accident, this is a force. They want, like you said, it's an invisible character in the movie. This killer or whatever. Death.
Yeah.
And I like... So, yeah, he slips and falls, and the wire from the shower head, like, wraps around his neck.
Ugh.
And so it looks like he hanged himself.
Yeah, that was pretty gross to watch.
Most of them were pretty disturbing. Oh, I mean, I was next to you, like, my feet were curled, I was, like, grabbing onto you. Like, it's like, that was the one that affected me the most. It's just, it makes my skin crawl. I don't know what it is about it, but it just, like, it just makes my skin crawl.
Well, I think they took
thing and everything.
They took more time with that one. Mm-hmm. Most of the other things were over pretty quickly. There wasn't a lot of suffering necessarily, except for the teacher. Oh God.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Well, it was a really well written scene.
Yeah.
The teacher, I think, is the next one, right?
The girl.
The girl was the
young
next
girl.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Curtis Smith's girlfriend.
The girlfriend of Jack from Dawson's Creek. Yeah. But hers is really quick and easy. Like he's trying to explain to them, like, hey, fucking Todd didn't kill himself. I know, this is like, it's fucked up and everything. And he thinks they're all in danger or whatever. But he's not sure yet. Curtis
Smith's character is like a fucking bully, by the way.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Just
very
saying.
Different than Jack on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
And she just walks out into the street and gets hit by a bus.
She says, I'm going to live forever, or I'm never going to die, or something like that.
Yeah. And
she gets
bang.
Hit. Yeah.
It's like, it's a funny moment.
Yeah, kind of.
Because there is...
I mean, when somebody gets hit by a bus, it's hilarious.
There is humor in this movie. Well, it's like, it's just the immediacy of it,
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when he starts to figure stuff out, and when they start to talk and everything. The teacher, I think, dies next, and then that's when after her death, that's when the conversations, because he's on the run from the law and everything, because I think maybe he did it. That's when the conversations start to get real serious. But,
yeah. It's so stupid that he handled... Let's talk about this teacher, because...
Yeah. Oh, how badly he handled the situation?
Yeah. So he goes to try to save her, but, like... She's already dead at that point, and he grabs the knife.
Yeah.
Who grabs the knife? Who doesn't know you don't touch it at a murder scene or whatever? Like, ugh. Anyway. Yeah,
the whole thing is so weird, because it's like her computer catches fire, the so many coincidences. The fucking stove goes out and everything, fills the house with gas, which apparently she can't smell, which is weird.
Yeah.
And then, she gets a bunch of knives into her back.
And he goes in there trying to save her and touches everything.
And he could have easily died, too.
Yeah.
He comes out of the house and it explodes.
He should have died then, and the movie would be over. But yeah.
But before that, actually, this is the part I want to talk about with Tony Todd, because Tony Todd's in the movie for one scene.
Okay.
They break into the funeral place to see Todd's body.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Because they want to see, because he's like, he couldn't have killed himself. And it's like, I don't know how they can determine that. And the coroner could determine that. But they go in there and everything to look at his body, and they're met with by Tony Todd, who doesn't seem to care that they've broken in.
No, not at all.
And just has a conversation with them about the nature of death and like pissing death off, and like, basically gives us the thesis of the movie about
right.
Like when it's your time to go, it's your time to go kind of thing, and death will get you either way. And it's like I said, it's very, and none of them question it either. Like, why are you, like, how do you even know? What are you talking about? Like, it all comes out of nowhere.
Well, he's so creepy. Who wants to continue this conversation any longer than it has to? And
he's like I said, he's not seems unbothered by the fact that they broke in.
Yeah. It was a very bizarre encounter.
But I think he's clearly supposed to be death.
Weren't they saying they didn't think that he killed himself because like he was trying to pull the cord off?
Yeah.
Like I think anybody would do that though. I
mean, like last minute regrets and stuff like that, or even just like
panic.
That instinct that you have in your body.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, so I think that's, to me, that's clear. Like death is the one doing the stuff. But they
got it.
So after then they start talking about like the nature of existence, and it's and their own mortality and everything, and that's what I think separates this movie from just like a normal like slasher kind of film or a normal horror film, is that the conversations they have a connection to people's real lives, mm-hmm. and they're interesting, and the way they're written is interesting too, because I think it's good writing. They're not intelligent conversations necessarily. They're the kind of conversations that teenagers would have about this kind of stuff, because they still don't know everything. Like they're going through shit and stuff. I think it's very believable, like philosophical conversations that teenagers would have about what is happening to them.
Sure.
And they're coming to grasps with their own mortality. It's like a metaphor for getting older, really.
It's like Dawson's Creek with a slasher.
Exactly. Which I always still wanted them to do. Because, what's his name? Stephen Miner is one of the writers, directors, like producers of that show, and he directed 2 Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
Bring Jason Voorhees.
I know that would make your day.
Except I think Warner Brothers owns Dawson's Creek. That's the channel it's on. And Paramount sold the rights to Friday the 13th to New Line Cinema, but New Line Cinema owns it now. So.
Well, darn. We'll never get it.
Yeah, that's the behind-the-scenes politics for you. But yeah, what do you think was the best death?
Best in what way?
Like the most fun, kind of like, like the most well-crafted one.
I mean, I guess the teacher, because there are so many times that she walks away without getting killed, and then eventually, it's like, but there's like 3 or 4 things that happen where she should have gotten killed and didn't. Yeah,
there's a variety, like I said, there's a variety of ones. The one where a Stifler from American Pie gets killed is that's another one like the bus, where it's just kind of like bang. Like we see the piece of metal like, mm-hmm. Like moving, but we don't know who it's going to get necessarily, and then it like cuts his head off and it's like bang.
That was a good one too. That was so crazy with the fucking train. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Like,
Yeah, because he Alex tells him we're all gonna die, and we're gonna die in the order that it's gonna be. And Kersmith is like decides he's like, well, fuck Carter, I think his character's name was. He's like, fuck this, like either I'm next. He's convinced like he's next, and he's like, so if I'm next, I'm gonna die or whatever. Like you guys won't die because fucking it's not your order or whatever. They talk about like the fate of all their deaths and stuff, and he starts driving like a maniac, and then he pulls onto the the train tracks and stops the car.
and there's a train coming, and everybody else gets out of the car but him, and you think he's gonna die, but Stifler saves him.
Oh, Alex saves him.
Oh,
actually.
Alex saves him.
Yeah.
And then it's Stifler that gets killed, though.
Yeah, because this is another like little wrinkle they put on it. Kersmith was next, but Alex saved him from dying, so death skipped him and went to the next person that was supposed to die, which was Stifler. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I didn't love that. I didn't love that part of it. And like,
And death gives up too fast, too.
Is that forever? Is he forever okay now?
Well, no, because the end of the movie obviously says that. That's what they think. That's what they think in the movie. They think like, okay, so he's safe now because he was saved. They come up with the idea that like, okay, intervention to save the person does save them. So at the end of the movie, it's the three of them left, Clear, Alex, and Carter, and they decide to go to Paris. I would never get on a fucking plane ever again.
I know, that was so bizarre. Like, I couldn't believe that they were in Paris.
But they decide to go to Paris to like have their trip or whatever. And they're sitting there at a cafe, and then shit starts happening again. Mm-hmm. And Alex is like the next one to die. So, like, it starts coming from him, and like, but then Carter, I think, or no, Clear saves him, pushes him out of the way. This like sign breaks off, this big cafe like neon sign breaks off and almost hits him. He almost gets hit by a bus. Bunch of shit's happening.
Yeah.
And Clear saves him, and then like Carter's like, well, who's next? And then you can see the sign like behind him, like coming to get him, like basically implying that he gets killed by the sign because he's next. Mm-hmm. So that's when they realize that even after they save the person, that doesn't end it. It just skips and goes to the next person, but it comes back around.
So was Alex the first? Alex was the first one, right? Wasn't he the first one who was supposed to die?
No, the last.
Huh.
Because he was in his vision anyway. The fireball got him last. Him or Clear, I don't remember which one.
Okay.
But those two were the last ones to die.
Well, that makes sense then. What do you think? I smell sequel.
Oh, 100%. And the movie's doing well financially, which definitely, like all these horror movies, yeah, I say they'll make a sequel probably with Devon Sawa and I can't remember the actress's name that plays Clear, but her as well.
Well, I would see it. I would see the sequel even.
Yeah, and I assume then that, like I said, what I liked about this movie a lot was the inventiveness of the way they killed the people, and then the philosophical like headiness of the conversation. My fear is that they'll kind of lean into the fantastical kills, and the heady conversation will go away.
Yeah, probably.
Which is probably what's going to happen. But if they make them interesting enough, then I can live with it as like a fun little like popcorn thing. I think this movie gets elevated a little above just your garden variety horror movie based on the intelligence of the writing. And this James Wan guy might have a future in horror.
We'll see.
All right. Well, that is the episode for the week. I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back at some point to talk about something, I'm sure.
Probably in the summer, at least.
Otherwise, you can listen to our Slayer Talk show You can listen to Horny Creek. You can listen to 90210 while it lasts, because we're almost done with that.
Yeah, not many episodes left, guys.
But Carol, why don't you tell people where they can find their own imminent death?
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, we listen next time. Bye.
Bye.